What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you just exactly how to install some Diode Dynamics ditch lights onto a RAV4. It's going to be super simple, nothing too hard, and it's going to look awesome. Of course, these things are freaking bright, so if you guys do end up wanting to purchase them at the end of the video, make sure to check out the description box below. I'll make sure to link them there. We're going to show you guys how to wire them, how to install them, how we put the brackets on. Let's get it. Alright, you guys, so before we dive into the video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys just exactly what we have here, so that way you guys see what we're going to be installing onto the RAV4. And of course, this installation is going to be very similar if you guys are doing it on a different vehicle. So if you guys don't have a RAV4, it's okay, you guys can watch this. Let's just dive right into it. So right here is going to be, of course, the Diode Dynamics 3-inch LED pods. We're going to be using these as ditch lights, so it's going to look nice and clean, and as you can tell, these things look freaking awesome. Right here, what we have is going to be the LP4 adventure brackets. These are going to be ditch light brackets. We've pre-installed them, that's why they look a little dirty, just to test them out. But you guys are going to see how easy these things are to install. Unlike my TACOMA, you had to unbolt the whole hood and it kind of shifted it. With these bad boys right here, you don't have to worry about alignment, because this actually installs with just one bolt. You'll see what I'm talking about. All you need is going to be a size 12mm socket of some sort. Alright, you guys, so the first step, we're going to go ahead and grab our 12mm socket and our LP adventure brackets for the ditch lights. So just in case you guys don't know what ditch lights are, they're the ones that go right here. There's going to be one on this side and one on the opposite side. It just kind of helps you out at night, of course, to help light the way. Alright, you guys, so of course, once you have the hood open, right now we're going to be starting on the driver's side. So first things first, go ahead and grab your 12mm socket, and you're going to notice on the hood there's going to be two bolts, one here and one here. We're going to be removing just the one on the bottom, so go ahead and grab your 12mm. Let's remove that. As you can tell, I just took off one bolt. So like I was saying, with these LP Adventure brackets, all you need to do is remove one bolt. Unlike my TACOMA, I had to take both off, and it actually shifted the hood slightly, and then you had to realign it. With these, you never have to worry about that. It makes it super easy. So let's go ahead and now grab our bracket and get ready for the install. Alright, you guys, so when you do go ahead and grab your LP Adventure brackets, if you guys get the same ones, one thing you are going to notice, they are going to be directional. So you want to go ahead and pay attention to this. So grabbing them like this, you're going to notice right here in the center, there's going to be like a rectangle cut out there and a rectangle cut out there. So the way you want to do this is you want to make sure the rectangle is actually pointing towards the outward, and then the top piece of the bracket is pointing inward. So that's how you'll know which side goes to which. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and you're going to notice, of course, the bolt that we still have there. You're going to use that kind of as an alignment, so put it right over, and then now you want to go ahead and grab your bolt and install it right underneath. It's going to be super simple, nothing too hard about this. Of course, now that I've hand tightened it, now I'm going to go ahead and get my socket and just tighten it down all the way. Nothing hard about this. So let's go ahead and now do the opposite side. And now that we got both brackets in, we're going to go ahead and now just put the pods, and then after that we'll start with the wiring process. So now I've opened up the package. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys just kind of what comes inside the box, so that way you guys see what you get. So inside the Diode Dynamics Pros, these ones are the Pros. What you get, of course, you got to choose your coloring, and then of course what kind of lens you're going to want. Inside you're going to get, of course, your two lights. You're going to get individually bagged hardware, as you can tell, so that way there's no mistakes. You know, one goes to one and one goes to another. You're going to get some stickers, instruction manual. You're also going to get two of these harnesses. You're not going to need them, but it's cool that they provide them, just in case one day something breaks or anything like that and you need to do a repair. It's there. You can keep those or throw them away. And then you're also going to get your two brackets to go ahead and install these bad boys. So let me show you on one, and then we'll get to the car. Like I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and build up one of the ditch lights, and then we'll do the other one and install it to the car. So let's go ahead and grab one of the hardware baggies, open it up, super easy, nothing hard about this. What you're going to get in here is two of these little nuts, two of these little screws there, two of these little washers, and then you're going to get one of these big bolts, one bigger nut, one big washer, and then a washer. This is going to go at the bottom here, installing it into your actual bracket on the truck. These here are going to be attached on each side, installing the pod. So let's go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and grab this. You're going to want to go ahead and grab one of your nylon nuts, the smaller ones, and you're going to notice at the back there's going to be a hole there and a hole there. You're going to go ahead and insert them. You're going to notice on one side you can see the nylon part of the nut. That you want to face it inwards towards the light, just like that. Grab the other one and do the same thing. Now you go ahead and grab your bracket. One thing to note on here, you're going to notice there's like a lip right here. So when you attach it, you want to make sure the lip is facing towards the front of the actual pod. And then on these pods, there's actually it's directional. So you're going to notice the D, you want, of course, that to face upwards. You don't want it facing backwards like that. So just make sure. So it's going to be kind of hard to see, but you'll be able to see it in person. Now you got the nuts, you got the bracket in place. You know how it goes now. Now grab one of the little bolts. Grab one of the little washers. Go ahead and slide it right over just like that. Now go to the light. And you literally just do it by hand at first. Just like that. To the other side, just so that way it doesn't fall out. The same thing, just go ahead and do it hand tight. Show you guys why you don't want to tighten it down all the way just yet. Basically, this is where you should be at. So now you want to go ahead and do the same step onto the other pod. I'm going to do that and then we'll get to the vehicle. Okay, so now that we have both brackets installed just like this, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the vehicle. So for this step, you want to go ahead and grab one of the bigger bolts that came, of course, provided in the baggie. You're going to grab the big washer, the big lock washer, and one of the nuts, and we're going to start with just one light. The reason I was saying do not tighten this down just yet is because it's going to help you out to be able to install this bolt, because it's actually going to go underneath here. So as you can tell, it is a little bit hard to get in there. So technically you could probably put the pod after if you wanted to do it that way. I just like doing it this way, so that way I know it's assembled and ready to go. But basically this bolt is going to go on the bottom here, and you're going to notice there's like a little nut part there. That just kind of helps it with alignment, so when you go to tighten it, it won't move around. You can tell it won't move. Another reason why you want to keep this loose is because when you go out on the trail, if I was you guys, I would go at night after installation and just kind of adjust everything. So I'd leave everything loose until you get to the trail, like I said, at night, so you can see where you want it exactly. So let's go ahead and keep going. Grabbing the bolt, now that it's there, we're gonna, of course, put it onto the ditch light bracket, which we just pre-installed. There's gonna be a hole at the top. All you gotta do is align it with the bolt, slide it right through, and you're gonna notice right underneath here. So now what you wanna do is grab your normal washer, slide it right over, just like that. And then you wanna go ahead and get your lock washer, slide it right over, and then you want to get your nut and just tighten it down. Same thing, if I was you guys, I'd tighten it down, but not all the way, just so that way you guys can go test it out at night. But basically you'd be done. You want to go ahead and do the same thing to the opposite side, and then we'll go ahead and get to the wiring. As you can tell, they look sick. And then right now when we turn them on, we're going to show you just how sick they really look. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. So we're going to be installing, of course, and now the wiring. I have a heavy duty harness, which we're going to be using this for another application, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys anyway. As you can tell, on the heavy duty harness, it comes with like loom already, so you can't see the wiring. It's just nice and black, so it looks really clean. As far as for these ditch lights, what we're going to be using is their other type of wiring that they sell as well. It's a little bit cheaper, but of course, as you can tell, it does not come with wire loom. So if you guys do go on Amazon or maybe Home Depot, I'm not sure if they have it there, but I know for sure Amazon, you could go ahead and purchase your own wire loom, which is actually really affordable. You could get it for like 10 bucks for a big roll. So that's what we're going to be doing here to cover this up. It's going to be really easy. Another thing I did want to note, as far as on this RAV4, we actually have a auxbeam switch panel, so the wiring process is going to be a little bit easier for us. You guys will see why. And as far as for you guys, if you guys don't have a switch panel, it might take a little bit more time, but I'll also show you guys on that. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and explain kind of the wiring harness on this, so you guys kind of get a better idea. So looking on this side here, we've spread it out. You're going to notice right here, there's going to be two connections. So these are basically what's going to be connected to each pod. So one's going to go to the driver's side pod, you guys will see in a minute, and one goes to the passenger side pod. That's going to be connected, and then here goes the wiring. So it's going to go this way, and you're going to notice it's going to come with a little toggle switch. We're not going to be using this, of course, but I wanted to show you guys. So basically, this section here, these connections, this is what you'd run inside of the vehicle. You'd try to find a source, maybe like a grommet, to go ahead and run it through. You guys can go watch one of my other videos where I've installed a switch. I'll make sure to link it down below, and it'll give you guys an idea on how to run wires inside the vehicle. And then of course you'd connect the switch there, and that'd be your on and off. So we're not going to be using that. I'm gonna toss this, and now we're going to run this way over here. You're going to notice there is a fuse, and there's one installed already. This red wire would be your positive, which would go to the positive of the battery. And then this black one would be your negative, which would go on a grounding source on the vehicle, or the negative of the battery. So of course, as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and now install it onto the pod. So let's grab our harness. So you're going to notice right here in the back, there's going to be a connection here, and it only goes in one way, so you can't mess this up. So go ahead and just insert and do it until it clicks, just like that. I don't know if you heard the click, but it clicked. And now we're gonna do the same thing to the opposite side. Same thing, we're gonna go ahead and do it to the back. So of course, now that you've connected the ditch lights onto the wiring harness, you're gonna be in this position here. So these two are connected one side and then another side. As you can tell there, they're both connected. So looking back over here, here we have the switch. So if you guys were gonna be utilizing this switch, what you would do here is you'd take the switch off for now. Just remember where they go connected to, and then once you figure that out, you're gonna grab these three connections, and this is where you would kind of find like a grommet, and then run it through the vehicle inside and place the switch kind of wherever you're gonna want it. And then once you finish that, then you'd move back outside, and then you'd notice the last two connections you'd have would be this red one with the fuse and this black one. So the red one with the fuse would generally go here, which is the positive of the battery, the red side. And then as far as the black one that you'd have left over would go either to the negative of the battery, or you'd find a grounding source somewhere on the body of the car. And then you'd tuck all your wires, and if you had wire loom, you'd put the wire loom, and basically you'd be done, ready to go. Since we're not going to be installing it that way like you guys, we have a auxbeam switch panel, and if you guys have a auxbeam or some type of switch panel, you guys can follow this next step. So basically, now that we have one side connected to the pod and another side connected to the pod, as you can see there, now we're going to look back over here. So this is generally where that switch would be. As far as for us, we're going to cut it right before that. So literally right before the switch, we're going to chop that off, and we're going to be chopping off, of course, the negative and the positive of this wiring as well, where the fuse is. So just right before the switch, we're going to be cutting there. Okay, so let's go ahead and now just chop. All right, so let me go ahead and rephrase what I just did. So looking right here, you're going to notice we got a black and a red connected to one of the pods. And then what we're going to be doing, since this is ditch lights, we're going to be putting it on the same source, of course, meaning, as you can tell, this wiring is coming from the passenger side pod. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and splice these. We're going to put the two reds together, and we're going to put the two blacks together. Once we do that, we'll then go to our switch panel fuse box here, and we're going to figure out which one's the plus and which one's the minus. We're going to connect it there, and we're basically going to be done. That's the cool thing about having some type of switch panel for all your lights. It makes it so much easier. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and show you guys now the next step. So of course, I've now chopped off the switch and the rest of the wiring harness. Let me show you guys. So the rest of it's all here. That's going to be trash. Make sure you guys get some wire loom. So I've just put the wire through the wire loom, so that way it'll look nice and clean in the engine bay on the passenger side. So up next, what I need to do is now run it across towards the driver's side. One thing I wanted to let you guys know, on these RAV4s, it's kind of hard to, you know, I guess you can say, run this through the hood. If you guys find a way, go ahead and do it. You could probably find a way to, you know, maybe run it through these holes, and if you want to take your time on it, run it basically in between the hood and here, that way. For us, we're just going to be bringing this down here, and you're going to notice right here, there's going to be like a little notch, and we're just going to be running it through here on the cowl all the way through. As you can tell, we probably need to get some more wire loom, but we wanted to show you guys this as an example, just what we had left over, just to show you guys. So like I said, later on we'll get more wire loom, so that way this wire is not exposed like that, because it looks pretty ugly, not gonna lie. So it's gonna come out this way, and as you can tell, on this one here, this is coming from the driver's side pod. So here it is. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie them probably about here, just so that way they stay attached. So I would get some handy zip ties if you guys have some. And you're gonna notice here, there's like a little cutout. So I'm gonna be sliding the wire in through there just so it doesn't move, so it's out of the way, nice and clean. So now that I have the driver's side and passenger side connections right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting them nice and even. So I'm going to cut it at about right there. What I have here is what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and splice out the red, splice out both of the blacks. So the two reds are going to be going together, the two blacks are going to be going together. Let me show you what I mean. And then basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these together, and we're going to be using a spade like this. So now that I have the two reds put together just like that, I'm going to go ahead and slide over the spade. And I'm just showing it just a little bit, just so I know it's all the way through. And then you go ahead and get some crimps of some sort, and you go ahead and crimp it down. So now we're going to, of course, do the black side. So as you can tell, here's the red one. Another thing you can do to add like some more protection is if you want to go ahead and get some heat shrink, put it right over, heat it up, make it look nice and clean. Let's go ahead and now do the same steps to the black, which is the negative. Now that we've put the spades on, as you can tell, now we're going to go ahead and go to our switch panel and start installing. So if you guys have a auxbeam switch panel or any type of switch panel of some sort, this install should be very similar. So it should have, of course, your fuses, and then it should have a positive and negative on each one. So as far as for us, I'm going to close it down. I'm going to be installing it on this 20 amp fuse here. So I'm going to look right here, there's a positive and a negative. So I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. So we're going to be installing it to, of course, the positive on the red side, and then the black would go to the negative. So let me start with that process there. And if you guys want to get one of these bad boys here, you can check out the description box below. We made a video on it, on how to install one. So you go check it out and buy yours. It makes wiring so much easier. So now that I've put my positive and negative connected there, as you can tell, connections are there. So of course right here we just need to clean it up. Like I was saying, getting some wire loom like the one I showed you earlier would be best, because it would make this all look nice and clean instead of a rat's nest, because this does look pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. But now all you need to do is clean it up. Let's go ahead and turn on the car and test it out, see if they work or not. So right now we're gonna go ahead and now test these out. So let's go ahead and hit the switch. Damn, as you can tell, there it is. And then on this side, there it is. So of course at night we'll give you guys a shot, but we just want to go ahead and show you guys during the day just that it works. In person, freaking bright. Like I said, these are the pros. The ones I have on mine are the max. Of course these are going to be a lot brighter than the pros, but you have your pick, pros or max. It look exactly identical, just one's brighter than the other. Let me show you guys inside what I was talking about. So basically what this is here is a switch panel. We still need to put the stickers on there, but this is a switch panel that we connected it to. So now we have, turns it on and off. Nice.
Hey guys, it's the night after we installed the ditch lights, and as you can see I found a dark road. This is what the road looks like with the headlights off. This, as you can see, completely pitch black, right? Now I'm gonna turn on my ditch lights, and I have them pointed off to the side a lot because I like using my ditch lights to see to the in the turns, you know, and in the ditches. And even though I have them turned out a lot, as you can see there, you can see where the beams are hitting way down there in the ditches. They illuminate the front a lot. I can actually probably use these to see in front of me a little bit, but obviously you want the headlights also. So from the inside of the vehicle, I'll show you again. So that's headlights, ditch lights, and then just the ditch lights by themselves, off, headlights on. Now I'm gonna show you guys from the outside what that looks like. You can see it is extremely bright. It's a nice focus beams. These are the combos because I do want a little bit of that flood effect to go with these lights. So there it is, headlights off, no lights, and then the ditch lights. Damn, I'm really impressed. Like, I loved my auxbeam ditch lights, but these Diode Dynamics take the cake, bro.
So of course now we finished up the installation. I hope it was really easy for you guys, because I know it was for us. If you guys still have questions, make sure to comment them down below. As always, I like to answer you guys' questions. So of course, if you guys don't have a RAV4 and you guys have a TACOMA, I've made a bunch of videos on my TACOMA, so you can check it out. That'll also be in the description box. So yeah, go ahead and get yours. Description box below. Yeah, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys.
That's what you wanted me to say.
Yep.
Oh, like, comment, and subscribe.
Was it good? right? Rizo out.
Jesse Rizo is here for you. Is here for you. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.